Hey. I know, new hairdo. I don't know why I open these things to talk about my hair. Like, oh, look, it's different because you guys actually care. Lady Pelvic here, bringing another review straight to you. Presenting A Legend of Legacy for the Nintendo 3DS. And this came out October 13th of 2015. Now, when I saw the trailer to this game, I immediately thought, Bravely Default. Oh my god, I'm gonna fucking love this because it looks like Bravely Default, so it must play like Bravely Default. Now, upon doing research, I found out the writer from Chrono Trigger is the writer for this game. And while I haven't played Chrono Trigger, I know, I need to play it. I've heard nothing but strong positive feedback from it. Even the composer from Final Fantasy 13 was in this, plus we have the graphic designer of 999. However, even with the seasoned team, this game was incredibly bland. Let's run through it. The game opens up with 7 protagonists that you can choose from, each having a different reason to explore the island of Avalon. Avalon mysteriously arose from the waters, and now adventurers from all over are exploring this new island. Whatever character you choose from, you're paired with 2 others, and don't you worry, you can switch out your team upon meeting the characters you didn't select. I made the wrong decision and chose Mures instead of Filma, the Frog Prince. A Frog Prince. After a short exchange of forced dialogue, you get 1 brief tutorial on stances, which I'll cover in the gameplay. Legend of Legacy is very open and free roam, which I enjoyed. The entire point of this game is to explore and complete the map so you can sell it for a hefty price, while you're uncovering the minimalistic mystery of Avalon. By the way, you are given minimal direction. While exploring lands, you find singing stones. They tell a fragment of the island's history before giving you either a singing stone or a whisper shard. Now this leads me to the biggest fluke in the game. The story is borderline non-existent. Because you can explore wherever, whenever you can find singing shards out of order, and there's no log or journal to reference them, thus making it extremely confusing. Plus the dialogue with the townsfolk or the other adventurers was so uninspired. I mean, just look at how someone joined your party. If that's not stale writing, I don't know what is. The gameplay is a mixture of intricate and repetitiveness combining turn-based strategy, and let's not forget, difficult. Difficult as in challenging and unforgiving, but also tedious. While you're exploring, there are dark shadows, and when approached, they chase after you. If touched, you engage in battle. And it's fine at first, but when you're overpowered and you can take out everything in one round, it's rather annoying to try to avoid these things, especially when your surroundings pop up as you explore. Even with the fast forward option, the fight can drag out. While you explore, sometimes you find yourself in a battle with a mini-boss, which is awful if you're not prepared. There is no warning, you just may walk up to it and boom, it's on. And they're not easy either. Even if you're in an area where you're seemingly doing well and taking out everything, you may be surprised when engaged in a battle and it opens up with a tribe of monsters, which you'll more than likely experience frame rate issues from. Not a lot, but I thought I'd mention it. Luckily, you can run away from the gang of monsters, but there's a price you pay from running away. That price is returning to the very beginning of the area, and monsters respawn. It seriously sucks if you were so deep in the area and you can't handle the fight. You could opt to die, but then you return to your last save point, which if you're like me and after every battle you save, which I encourage you to, you'll be fine. If not, you're going to experience some serious gamer rage. On the flip side, if you're in a rush to leave back to town, then it's great. Also, when you're battling monsters and a teammate gets knocked out, they can easily be brought back, but some of their health will be permanently gone until rested at the inn. When they're down, an enemy can still attack their direct health. This is what makes this game incredibly tough when you're trying to explore for long periods of time. Now let's dive into this game's battle system, which by the way, the game does a terrible job of teaching you its mechanics. Just try to stay with me as I explain this one, okay? It's pretty intense. I had to Google everything and make sure I understood what I was doing. The first thing you select when fighting is your stances, which set the mood of the battle for that round. Certain skills are more effective in different stances. Example being, use a skill to guard while in a defensive stance protects all of your allies instead of just that character. If in an attack stance, certain skills will do more damage than when you're in a defensive stance. Not only do stances determine how useful your skills are, but they play a role on how they level up. Example is if you use an offensive skill while in a defensive stance, the skill will level up under the defensive category. So skill X will now be a little stronger in the defensive stance, even if it's an offensive move, and vice versa. Essentially, you can build your character however you want. However, to get the most practical results, you would want defensive skills to level up under a defensive stance, and offensive skills to level up under an offensive stance. You also can customize your stances so you have a stance for every situation. Because of the variety of battles, characters can switch off roles. Like your main attacker can heal from time to time, or your healer may need to focus on defending the party, etc. Now, using certain skills repeatedly leads to new moves or leveling up current moves. Problem with this is it's completely random. From what I researched, there is no system. I've had characters learn moves after me using the same move 4 times. Other characters, I had to use it 400 times. It's frustrating when you're trying to have a character learn the same freaking move, but for whatever reason, they don't. And there's no way for the user to expedite the process other than to continue using the move and just hope they freaking learn it. If you remember, I mentioned singing/whisper shards earlier. You receive these when you speak to a singing statue. These shards link to the elements, which is crucial to every battle in this game ever. I mean, you can do without them, but holy shit, you will struggle. Singing shards allow you to make a contract with an element. When you forge a contract with an element, you're granted a buff at the end of every round. For example, water heals you, wind recovers SP, fire increases your damage. Not only do you get buffs, but you can use whisper shard skills that correspond with the element or elements you have contracts with. If you have a contract with water, you can create a water shield if you have the water shield whisper shard equipped. Pick and choose your contracts and elemental skills wisely though. You only have 2 accessory slots, meaning you can only have 2 shards equipped per character. Singing shards are the only shards that can create contracts. Good news is, just like regular skills, you can learn elemental skills. Bad news, once again, it's completely random when you learn it. Once you do learn it, as long as you have the corresponding singing shard, you can use it anytime. Assuming you have a contract with that element, of course. If you try to be sneaky and use an elemental skill without a contract, that skill will fail, and ultimately wasting that character's turn. Contracts are extremely important, and depending on the enemy, hard to maintain too. Not only can you use elements, but so can your enemy, and if they have the contract by the end of the round, they get those buffs at the end. It can get very tug of war. I also want to touch upon the weapon and item system as well. Any character can use any weapon and become proficient. The more the character uses the weapon, the more skills for that weapon the character unlocks. Again, completely random. In town, there's a shop that changes its stock every so often. Sadly, the items they receive don't quite level up with you. Most of the time, it's just kinda average junk. There's also this nifty kinda sorta street pass feature, that when you send out a boat, you can receive items by those who you pass. Although I don't think that's entirely true because I have stayed home all day and been playing this game and I haven't passed nobody, but I still get items, so yeah. Okay, now that we've gotten through the gameplay, let's talk about the graphics. Like most people, the first thing I thought upon seeing this game was Bravely Default. As you can see, the inspiration is definitely there by the way the town is set up, the art, even the Chibi-Kawaii Desune art style. As I explored the island of Avalon, I found myself hating the pop-up surroundings. At first it was a charmer until I started to run away from enemies, but I kept running into trees or rocks instead. Don't get me twisted, the areas are well decorated and really brought to life, but the pop-ups, they never stopped. But I will give them props for trying something new. It was a fresh idea. The character designs I mildly enjoyed because, I don't know, the chibi look is starting to get overdone, you know what I mean? And the monster designs, however, I don't know, just seemed kind of lackluster about 1/3 through. Simply changing the skin or maybe adding a horn or two to create a different monster. Moving right along to the music in the game, I found to be very dreamy and calming, and that's not a bad thing. I felt like I could drift away to dreamland with most of the songs in this game. Had a lot of violin and piano work going, which ultimately worked in this game's favor. Nothing sounded out of place, and the music certainly matched the area's tones. My favorite track, though, would have to go to Bottomless Despair. While the name sounds depressing, it's anything but. And that's it about my thoughts of Legend of Legacy. Honestly, this game gets like a bland chicken out of 10. Have you ever ate bland chicken before? I mean, you can do it, but you're not gonna enjoy it. And that's kind of the same thing with this game. You can play this game, but I don't think you're really going to enjoy it. Real score, 5 out of 10. I really wanted to like this game, but it was so bland. The story was like, where was the story? I don't know. You find it, you tell me. If you ever wanted to know what a JRPG was like without a story, this is it. This right here is your game. Ta-da! In addition to incredibly boring dialogue. I admit, I'm still trying to beat this game, but it is like eating bland chicken. You're just taking it slow and you're like, you could do it, but without the story, grinding was just blah, there was no motivation, and as a lover of JRPGs, I don't mind the grind, but I need something to tell me why I should grind, why I need to save this princess, why I need to save this cat out of a tree, why should I get stronger? And this game doesn't provide that. And the number 2 big reason not to get this game is experience is just divided terribly. There's no way, it's just luck, good luck. Good fucking luck. Ugh, this game honestly is just a pale imitation of Bravely Default. If you haven't gotten this game, don't. If anything, borrow it from a friend, but it's not worth the $40. Unless you like no story and frustrating yet challenging grinding, don't pick this game up. Drop it. And that's a wrap. Thank you guys so much for watching, and let me know in the comments below, what is your favorite turn-based battle system? Mine would definitely have to be Bravely Default. The job class system in that game, magnifique. Oh man, I beat the hell out of that game. Anywho, as always, thank you so much for watching, and if you enjoy seasoned foods and video games, give me a thumbs up and subscribe. Like and share. For more review videos, tap that top box. If you want to see me play stuff, click that bottom box. Thanks again, guys. This is how you season a video game.